Hi, I'm making this video as my final, not so final testament and will. And no, I'm not suicidal. I still very much want to live and I want to be alive because that's basically all I know. I don't know anything beyond that. I only know life, so I still want to live. But I am making this video because I think if you have a funeral policy and you have a life cover or you've thought of having a life cover and funeral policy, surely you've thought about death as well. And if you are alive, you have probably attended a lot of funerals for your friends, for your neighbors, for people you don't know, and those you do. And lately, I've experienced that a lot of people are dying, or a lot of people around me are dying. Not in my family, but around in my community. There's been a surge of funerals, like every weekend, someone is dying. Every weekend, there's a funeral. So that has made me to think. That has made me to think about my own life and my own funeral. This is not the first time that I'm thinking about this, or this is not the first time that I've thought about this. So I just thought I should make a video to record my thoughts because I have voiced it out before. I've told the people around me before how I would like my funeral to go. But I know for a fact that even though I might tell them how I would like my funeral to go, I know you'll never go that way. And I know they will not take my word for it, like they will not follow up. I know they will feel pressure to do things the normal way or how everyone else buried. I know they won't follow my request unless maybe I get a lawyer to draft down my will and testament. But since I can't afford that, I decided I'm just going to do a video instead. Yeah, I decided I'm just going to do a video instead. I'm not sure if anyone is going to see it. I'm not sure if anyone who knows me is going to see it. But I'm just going to do it anyway. You know, in the African culture is very much centered around the idea of crowds, the idea of people, like a lot of people. I'm saying that because we all know the saying that, like the Ubuntu saying that a person is a person because of other people, right? And that is, I do abide by that. I do understand that. I do subscribe to that. And also, I have noticed that a lot of people, African people, they always boast about the fact that if maybe they've had some kind of gathering at their place, they always boast about the fact that, there was a lot of people, like there was a lot of people, even funerals, because you'll find that someone has been to a funeral and maybe you didn't go to that funeral and they went instead, and then they'll come back and tell you, what? There was a lot of people. That person was loved by many. Like there were loads of cars, there were loads of people, like a lot of people attended that funeral. And I guess in the African culture or in our African communities, having a lot of people attend or your wedding or your funeral or whatever ceremony you have, it is seen as some kind of um, what can I call it? It is seen as like levels, like how can I describe it in English? Ke maemo go kwešiša? Like it's like status, you know? And I guess I beg to differ. I beg to differ because okay, let me begin with my will and testament. Okay. So most African people and I don't know, even Western people, I'm not sure, but I believe that most people, like most funerals, they have this thing called molitelo. What is it called in English? I don't know what it's called, but I will describe it. So, okay, so the day before the funeral, which is usually a Friday, right? The casket or the coffin is brought from the funeral parlor, is brought into the yard or into the house, and then now into the home. It's brought into the home, right? And then people are supposed to come. People are supposed to come and welcome it, right? They welcome it in a form of singing hymns and songs and prayer, like having a mini prayer. Yeah, so that's how they welcome the coffin back home. And then after that, in our African customs, they is supposed to the family is supposed to have erected a tent so that people can come from far and wide, family, neighbors, people who knew the deceased, people who've come to bury the deceased. They're supposed to stay up all night, the night of the funeral. They're supposed to stay up on the Friday. They're supposed to stay up all night and pray and preach and sing for the whole night until morning. Like they do not stop until the morning, until the rest of the people come through to take the deceased to the final resting place, right? That is a normal thing to do. That is normal. But that custom suddenly stopped during COVID. It stopped happening. And the funeral rules were more relaxed. And usually, funerals are held only during the weekend. It will be very rare that people are buried during the week. So during COVID, all of that stopped. The funeral rules they relaxed. People were now allowed to be buried during the week. People could be buried on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday. People COVID changed all of that. and also the fact of having molitelo, you know, having the prayer before the night before the funeral, that stopped too. No more than 50 people could come and bury a person because there were all those restrictions and social distancing and all and all. So yeah, so now because COVID-19 has passed, right? We have slowly but surely have gone back to the old customs of having bullet dialogues and stuff, right? So I I quite enjoyed um, I quite enjoyed and appreciated the COVID-19 funeral rules, and I don't think they should stop. Okay, not for everybody else, but I don't think they should stop for me. Okay, a lot of people might want, to go back to the old way of doing things. But I think for myself, just for my will and testament, for myself, I would really like it if, first and foremostly, I don't want Molotelo. I don't want people to sing and pray the whole night before they bury me. No, I don't want that. I want people to sleep. Okay, I want people to sleep. Only come through in the morning when when I have to be taken to my last place, which is the grave. Only come through in the morning. You know why? I have a reason for that. I think the Mulitelo is such a chore. I think it's a chore because um, even though I haven't attended a lot of Mulitelos in my life, right? I usually only go through in the morning to bed. I don't stay up the whole night to pray and sing and sing hymns and stuff with everyone else. I usually go in the morning, but the few that I've been to, the couple that I've been to, I think it's very exhausting because even the preachers or the priests, by the time it reaches 1 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m., you can see that these people are tired. You can see that they're tired, and you can see that everybody's tired, you know, because you can't be talking the whole night. Like, it doesn't make sense just to talk the whole night or sing the whole night. For me, it doesn't make sense. So, for my funeral, I don't want that. I don't want Muletelo for my funeral. I want they can, what they can do? They can bring my coffin over to my home, right? Um, but I don't want anyone not sleeping right now. I want people to sleep. I want everybody to sleep. Okay. People should only come through in the morning to come and bury me. That's how I want it. The next thing that I want for my funeral, I want my funeral to mirror my life. For example, I have seen before a couple of stories, a couple of controversial stories where I've seen people attending, for example, the deceased was a prostitute, right? So before the burial, you'd find the deceased friends or colleagues wearing short skirts and barely nothing, you know, because the deceased's life was like that, right? Yeah. So also, what other example do I have? Yeah, if the deceased was a soldier, or they have the funeral has soldiers, they do those salutes, soldier salutes, and they wear um those soldier attires and stuff. So yeah, I want the same for my funeral. I want my funeral to mirror my life. And what is my life? I'm going to explain and tell you. So I am an introvert. I'm an introvert and I don't have friends. I do not have friends. I don't do much. I prefer a very small circles. Right. So for my own funeral, I want it to happen during the week. I don't want to be buried during the weekend. Okay, I want to be buried during the week. You can choose, I mean, there's so many days in a week. You can just, depending on when I die, of course. But I still do not want to be buried on a weekend. So you can choose Monday. You can choose Tuesday. You can choose Wednesday. I prefer Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those 3 days. I want to be buried either on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay? Yeah. I don't want my funeral to be announced. That is strange, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. I don't want my funeral to be announced. I want um I want my funeral to be announced after I've been buried. Like don't announce it before. Announce it after. Of course you can tell like um family, extended family. Yes, you can tell family and extended family and the few close people that we have, close friends, but just don't tell, especially my neighbors. Don't want my neighbors to know that I'm dead until after I'm buried. I don't want to be buried by my neighbors, especially where I stay. Want, I want, but I'm laughing, but I'm serious at the same time. I want to be buried by my family only. My family, my extended family, and those close friends, family friends. They can come and bury me. But I don't want more than 50 people at my funeral because I don't think it makes sense. It doesn't make sense that when I am alive, there's no people, right? And then when I die, it's like there's a whole community coming to bury me. I don't think it makes sense. I want to be buried by people who are here now for me. I want to be buried by less than 50 people. I don't want a lot of people. I don't want a lot of cars. I don't want a lot of commotion. I don't want a lot of commotion for my funeral because I'm like that. I don't want I don't want a lot of noise. I don't want a lot of drama. I just want to be, I'm dead. I'm not alive anymore. I just want to rest. Just take me to my final resting place. Let me rest and continue living your life. No, that's what I want. The other thing that I want for my funeral is, hey, people eat funerals. People at funerals can eat. People cook at funerals. You'll find that you've gone to a funeral and when they plate up, after they've buried the deceased, I get they come back to the home to eat. So when they plate up, you find that there's 6 colors, see all sorts of things in one plate, and all sorts of meat in one plate. I don't want that for my life. I don't want that for my dad. Please. I'm a simple person. I'm a simple girl. I want simple things. I'm not very complicated. I want simple things. Simply buy bread. Simply buy bread and a few things. Make sandwiches. Make sandwiches. Buy takeaway containers. Package the sandwiches. Buy those smaller than cool drinks. You see those packs of smaller than cool drinks. And then when people come through to eat, give them the sandwich. You just give them the sandwich and the cold drink. Let them eat on their way back home. Let them eat on their way back home. You know, don't have to stress. I'm a simple girl. I'm a simple girl. I don't like fussing. I don't want a lot of fuss in my life, in my death. I don't want that. I mean, in my life, in my own life right now, I don't like fussing. I don't like people fussing over me. So even when I'm dead, don't fuss over it. Just give people sandwiches and a cool drink. Thank you for coming to bury me. Bye bye. Continue living your life. Life is good. I think that's about it. That's about it for now. But I will also add that I'm going to give myself a task. I'm going to um, write down or prepare my own funeral program while I'm still alive, so that when I'm dead, they don't have to stress about, they don't have to stress about it. I've already had it done, so they can just take it, go make copies and whatever, and that's it. And I don't want a lot of fuss, really. Like, I don't want fussy. I think that's about it. And I will also like to stress that I am not by any means suicidal. So I still want to live. My God, I still want to be alive. I have two beautiful children that still want me, that still need me to be alive. So let me be alive. Let me be alive for myself. Let me be alive for them. Let me be alive for people, other people who love me. Also, it doesn't make sense for me to die now. It doesn't make sense for me to die when I haven't yet flown on an aeroplane. I mean, when you die, your body, that's what I've heard, allegedly. When you die, your spirit leaves your body and it flies off to wherever. So imagine flying only when you're dead. No, I want to fly now when I'm still alive. So I can't die before I've been on an aeroplane or a helicopter, whatever. No, I need to be on an aeroplane and I also need to be on a helicopter before I die. The other thing that I have to do before I die, no, I know or I assume or I've heard that when you're dead, you're a spirit, right? Your spirit is out of your body. And wherever that we go, whether heaven or hell, because I am a Christian, I believe in heaven, I believe in hell. Wherever that we go, there won't be any food. Like after you are dead, you can't eat anymore. Like there's no food. There's no food. So I can't die when I haven't yet eaten sushi. I that can't be my life. Please, that can't be my death. I cannot die when I have not yet eaten sushi. When I've not yet eaten fufu. I've not yet eaten fufu. I've not yet eaten the egusi soup, the jollof rice of Nigeria. I have not yet eaten those things. The only um ocean food, what's it called? The only seafood I have ever eaten in my life is hake. Come on now. I cannot die without having had a seafood boil. I cannot die without having had sushi, seafood boil, um, yeah, and a whole lot of other things. I can't yet die, and yet this is my last will testament. Final, but not so final because I'm going to come back again later, maybe next year or maybe the year after next, to update it. Thank you for watching. Let me see you later. Okay, bye bye.